Last we left off, you all had defeated the and then you guys now are currently very,
Praising.
very hurt, wounded, tired, sitting atop of a mountain. Just to remind you all, it is still snowing. There's a blizzard underneath you. Like the actual storm is beneath you, but you guys are high up in the mountains. You're still getting a little bit of snow from the lighter clouds above, but you can see the night sky in parts. And I'd like everyone to give me a perception check, if you don't mind. You still have Xerxes leaning up against the side of the mountain, blood pouring out of him just ever so lightly.
Let's fucking go. That's a 20 for the first roll.
It's beautiful that you're rolling this for me.
Yeah. This is a 24. All total.
5, 24,
12.
12.
Also 24, but not in that 20.
Okay, wonderful.
19.
Well, damn.
19.
23.
Okay, really great. So I'll say let's go 19 and above on this one because I want two different parts of the world right now. Mads, you teleported the C1/2 characters to, I believe, the sanctuary. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
So you all are in a field right now, moving toward the actual city. In your mind, and in Phoebe's mind, atop of a mountain, you hear, "It is too late for me." You guys, both in two different parts of the world, you both look up, and the moon has been completely shattered. And it is actually making its way toward what it looks like it's coming towards Exandria, but it could just be catching the orbit around Exandria, but the moon is gone. That being Catha, of course. Ruidus, you're not quite sure if Ruidus is larger because of this, or if it's just there's nothing to compare it to in the night sky anymore. But Ruidus looms large, and Catha has been destroyed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Mads knows how to process that. I think he's just hustling right now.
Yeah, you guys are making your way back to the city. Phoebe, what about you?
I think that, like, since Phoebe's, like, knowledge of Saloon was still so, like, nascent and small, like, she doesn't, like, it feels like a loss, but not a lot, like a distant loss that she doesn't know how to process. And it's like, that this was so new and so exciting, and I didn't get to learn anything, and I didn't get to give back the gift I was given, or I just can't do that yet.
Yeah, Mads is gonna look around for any like spirits that might be manifesting in the area, like familiar ones that he might recognize, and kind of mumble to himself, "It's just us now, then."
Mads, would you say that any of your family members were followers of Saloon as well?
For sure, probably all of them.
As you continue your walk towards the sanctuary, you're probably about 20 minutes or so away from reaching the walls of the sanctuary. So as nighttime hits, you have that crisp, cold fall air, if you will. You continue to move that way. Age, your group has been injured heavily, especially Deegan. Did Cal even get crushed in that? Was that Cal too? Yeah.
Cal went down too. Yep.
Yeah.
Both of them are at 1.
Yeah, so even though your patron has been shattered, your concern at the moment is more on your allies. So you make your way back towards the sanctuary. You guys on top of this mountain, as it gets pointed out to you, it's almost like watching and they're not moving fast or anything like that, it's just shattered bits of rock, some absolutely large, some very, very small, but it's almost like in slow motion as you look upon it.
So the mm, Sylvie, do You obviously seem to know more about the divine than I thought you did. I have, and you probably don't know all of it, but like, Saloon was talking to me now, and she says it is too late for her, and that is a very concerning thing for a god to say. So I think that things are getting really bad really fast, and I want to help her if we can, but I don't know how. Are you okay? First of all, are you okay?
Wait, like Sylvie actually can like dust herself off. Good, no blood. No problem.
Okay.
And she's kind of kneeling in front of Xerxes just to make sure he's still breathing. I know a little bit about the gods just from what I've studied, but I don't know that they can die, and I don't know what the obelisks going up means. I don't know.
Galileo, can you look at the moon? Did the moon have a light beforehand? And now, like a different. Obviously, it had a light, but maybe like a different one.
I have
what does
no
it look-
recording of the moon having light like you have light, but it is well illuminated now.
Even in bits?
Does it look look like it's lit by the stars, or does it have a soul to it, to Galileo?
It does not look like it has any sort of light to it. And by the way, can I just point out that Galileo looking at the moon or the stars is like full circle moment, the name, and, yeah. So no light to it.
Okay. Yeah. No, nothing like in regards to my mission.
Sylvie will kind of just stand up and just kind of go to Phoebe and just kind of like reassuringly like grab like her shoulders and just kind of be like, I know that it was a new experience for you to have this connection with Saloon, but the moon, while as large and beautiful as it is or was, is really just one facet of Saloon. She's still going to be with you. I know it's hard not having something to necessarily look at up there and see her, but she's still going to be with you. I don't think that by destroying the object that she embraces is I don't think that's going to destroy her. She's more than
She
that.
sounded very sad.
I'm sure it's a hit and I'm sure it weakens her, but I don't think it would take her away completely.
And I'm sure that there are people, potentially the people who just bamfed out and left us to do fuck all, might know more about this.
I can do
But-
more research next time I have access to a library.
If library still exists, that would be lovely.
I'm certain there's knowledge out there for us to find, regardless if it's in books or in experiences. But
And what I mean is, even if she's no longer strong enough to talk to you directly, she's not gone. So you can still talk to her and she'll still hear you. I think that's how it works, at least. We're learning.
I mean, I've got to make sure to keep in touch because hopefully she will keep talking for as long as she can, and when she stops talking, then that's when we need to be concerned. Raj, congratulations on not dying. I don't think that I've said that yet. But has the Raven Queen said anything to you since you you know? Have you talked to her? Is she okay?
Not since the to time to have that communication. But I
Okay.
have much to discuss. Many questions. Do you have anything for her?
No, I know like there is an obvious reason for Saloon to be injured currently, obviously, but I didn't know if perhaps something had kind of just across the board had happened, and just touching base. And I am just now realizing exactly how many of us have some sort of weird tangential connection to a divine being, be it a betrayer or not.
That is a very good point, Phoebe. I did not even take thought of the Raven Queen, given all of the turmoil that our groups have faced. But thank you for opening my eyes that the world is bigger than just we.
Okay. And I mean, there is Runeberg and the big sun, the thunder guy. I don't know his name.
I think his
But-
name's Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
It's a.
PTSD.
I think I would. Oh, I have the book. So I would like look through the book and be like, code. K-O-R-D.
Called if your main man in the sky has, do you, since his vestige was the vestige that was supposed to go in there but it didn't work, do you think that something has happened to him? Do you, how do you feel? Are you, I think you're muted.
Maddie
Yeah.
Boo's muted. Folks.
What check should I run for this? Because I have no idea. Religion?
Yeah, give me a religion check.
Great, let's do it.
And above the table, I read in my notes that I thought was a big reminder, is that Deegan said that he knew that by activating the obelisk, it brings the armies of that certain deity through. All gates have to be activated, all obelisks have to be activated to destroy the divine gate. And the obelisks are only weak before they're activated. And we know that all of them except for the Chained Oblivion and Asmodeus have been activated. So just a reminder.
The objectively hardest ones.
Of course. Well,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
As a reminder, I read that and that was helpful.
Mhm.
Not awful. 14.
Okay, and what exactly are you trying to do? You're
I guess I'm trying to follow the conversation and go, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe I should see if I have any connection to this guy still.
Call
And I'm
the
just
Sky
sort
Daddy,
of like,
you know.
Sky Daddy, are you there?
so when you pray or meditate or think about it, you say, "Sky Daddy, are you there?"
Yes, that's exactly how I would do that.
Sounds like a really shitty 1-800 number.
1-800 Sky Daddy.
DADY. That could work. Okay, so with a 14, at this point, nothing comes to you.
Right.
About 30 seconds later, you hear a rumbling below you and off in the distance as the blizzard is primarily below you all. And you take that as a sign that everything's fine on his side for the moment.
God Daddy's there.
I will relay that message.
Sky Daddy will always be with you. Needs to be a t-shirt at this point.
Unless I ate some bad fish, and that's where the rumble came from.
All right,
I
fans,
think-
we totally have. Get that in the comments. Get that
I
in the
have
chat.
Canva Pro and I can make us t-shirts at any point in time.
That
We
say
should-
Sky
we need
Daddy.
to do t-shirts for us.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
writing notes here at the top.
Chat, we did it.
So,
Oh,
a couple things that I want to go to real quick.
Yes.
First, Jace emerges out from a cave that is at the top of this mountain, about 30, 40 feet away from you guys. Comes out with an orb in his hand that has lit up the area. He walks over toward you all, says, we could probably make camp in there for the night, a little bit warmer. The cavern keeps going, but I searched it for a few minutes. We'll probably be fine. Goes over to Xerxes and is gonna lay on hands and give him a few extra hit points as Xerxes coughs up blood, and at this point fully gains consciousness back and looks around, looks up as he sees saloons shattered. How long have I been out?
Couple hours.
45 to 60 seconds.
It's probably only been
About 4 weeks.
2 minutes. We got the whole gamut there.
I don't think that watches have been invented quite yet. I've not been keeping time.
Galileo's been keeping track perfectly.
Yeah, he starts to lift himself up and goes, okay, 60 seconds? Is that what we're going with? Starts to brush himself off. He's going to scan the area. And along the ground, there's a few little divots in the snow. And he walks off and starts to examine those, almost like footprints in the snow that look a little strange, and he's going to go investigate that for a bit. Second.
Do we feel comfortable letting him go off on his own?
With his 3 hit points.
And he is
Pretty sure.
within eye shot of you guys, like 25 feet away.
Check out.
I'm pretty sure he can handle himself.
Can I like cast detect magic around the area, like where he's looking? And...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. I'm fixing to do that. Which it just lets me see stuff.
Mhm.
Do you want me to make a perception check or something?
Yeah, please. Sorry, is that the one where it asks which school?
That's a natural 20, Sky Daddy.
Okay.
Whoa.
So
Let me like read the spell. It's
you can use
been
your action to faint aura any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you can learn its school of magic, if any. Cool. So as you look around, you actually see that there is something glowing at his feet. So he spotted something very quickly as he got up with a high perception, and you've pinged it as having some sort of divination magic. And he reaches down, picks it up, and he's not hiding it. He starts to toss it in the air, looks at it as it kind of rotates, turns back to you all and says, "Anyone's patron saloon."
I mean, technically,
Cast a spell.
we didn't make it official. Sorry.
Oh. Oh.
He says, "Cast a spell."
Okie dokie. I'm going to cast.
Fireball.
I didn't ask how big the room was.
Let's just do a nice and druidcraft counts, right?
Sure. If
Or
you
do we
think,
want like?
yeah, if you pull magic from your patron, then yeah.
Salune.
Okay, so in your mind, as you begin to cast that, what does that look like?
So basically, like Phoebe would just be trying to druid craft some catnip in her hands, since you can create plants. So she goes to start to pull her hands across each other to kind of cast in the area.
As you pull your hands across, nothing happens.
Okie dokie.
Can I see any like sparks of something trying to happen and failing?
Just nothing.
She's just going like woo, but where did the lighter fluid
So-
come from?
It's like a bad magician. Just like
Oh. Phoebe's gonna be like, okay, maybe it's too cold for catnip out here. It's
I
I
wish.
swear this never happens.
I swear this never happens. Maybe we can do. I'm going to try to wild shape.
Okay. What do you wild shape into?
A snowy fox, a little
Okay.
white fox.
As you begin to go on all fours, you kind of just land in the snow as Phoebe.
I'm just on all fours in the snow.
Mhm.
Okie dokie.
You're just a little bit tired, that's all. And I'm just gonna like go over and like pick her up and like dust off the snow off of her. Like she's just
No, yeah, no. It was a long fight, and I mean, I've already wild shaped a lot today, and it's just we just need to rest.
Okay. Raj, do you think you could cast like a simple spell?
But of course. And you'll just see him cast poison spray and like spit on the ground.
By casting, or is that just your ability?
Cantrip.
Yeah.
Well, Druidcraft is a cantrip, so
Right, he has, because he's a snake.
Yeah.
He
he's
can
snake man.
spit on things, and I don't know if
Slippery
that's a spell or just a snake thing.
Then I'll cast like a fog cloud, and I'll create like a little fog cloud in my hands.
It apparates.
Xerxes, in your hands, that does not happen to be a piece of saloon, does it?
As you're saying this, he walks up to you, presses it against your chest, and just like holds it to you and says, "I would keep this very close, or find a new patron." And then he walks away.
Question, do you think that that is because of the,
Yeah.
or do you think that that's because her obelisk was activated by a betrayer god?
It could also just be maybe the opposite obelisk. Absolutely.
Just asking, because just asking for a friend.
You're asking this to Xerxes, yeah?
Yeah.
Could be a few things. I believe that part of the plan was that when the obelisk went off, the lesser deities would be the first to go. They wouldn't stand quite a chance at surviving, kind of clearing the slate, if you will.
Oh, I guess I kind of forgot that Saluna was lesser.
Well, if you ask Asmodeus, lesser is not even an adjective to describe her, but yes.
Well, I forgot. Thank you. Okay. Well,
It's fine.
so there's someone called the Wild Mother, and perhaps it's time to start thinking about her.
We can start looking into our options. The Wild Mother is very cool. I know that Dad thought that she was pretty neat, but like
Very hand in hand with Saloon. Very hand in hand.
but
Kind of like your koi fish. It's like the koi fish.
what's the koi fish is literally saloon, Sylvie.
I know, but it won't make you feel better. Let's go with that.
I know. You're
lot.
doing a very good job. You are doing a fine job.
Have we
Nick is going
seen
to-
Sylvie's hands when she held them up a second ago to talk about the koi fish?
So
Or do they now? Do we?
A little-
Or do I notice that immediately when she holds them up?
when you look at the koi fish now, there almost seems to be blood splatter in the tattoo itself, almost like sprayed across. And this is permanently on you. You begin to like furiously like just try to get off the stains, and it seems like, and Xerxes will chime in on this, the betrayers intend to mark those who chose their god.
Well, maybe they need to come off of it. But, you know. Maybe they need to get. I may have chosen my god, but you're mean, and that's worse. So.
Sylvie's just gonna look over her shoulder at Xerxes and just like,
Not I still don't know shit about you, but I mean, you saved us. That was cool. That I appreciate it, and just be nice to my sister.
grabs his
Please.
side and just kind of like waves you off as he walks towards the cave, as blood is still like dripping off of him.
Let's get to
I
a
should-
fire so I can go ahead and cauterize that. And she's
I
just
should
gonna like,
cut. We can do something about this. Okay. Okay. Anyway. Oh shit.
By the way, just to remind you, it is early morning, like 1, 2 a.m., very dark out. You see Xerxes heads towards the opening of the cave, which you guys are always suspicious of, but it is there. Xerxes walks towards it. What would the rest of the group like to do? If I can go with maybe Greymore here. What are you up to, Greymore? Watching Saloon being shattered in the sky, your friends in a bit of a frenzy and a panic. What is going on with Greymore?
Greymore is just in his own head trying to figure out how to reinforce himself to stop being mind controlled by the enemies that keep coming by. So I think that would be his number one thing, is like trying to reinforce all 4 of his alter egos, knowing that there's a extra one he doesn't know about yet.
And do you remember the last thing that the blue-eyed Greymore had warned you about?
Kind of. I have it written down. Purple-eyed Greymore, don't F this up, and he points to his eye. Is the last thing I have written down about that sequence.
Yeah, and then in your mind palaces now, I'll call it with you.
Oh, that's a good one.
You see him literally walk out of the room that you all and your other versions are in. And that's the first time he's confronted you cordially at all, ever.
Right.
So
it's a bit suspicious that he'd come in and tell me that to then just leave without taking over and doing something about it.
yeah.
So that would be Greymore. The entire time all that's happening is just trying to, let's say he's in a deep meditated state, trying to fix himself before he worries about what's going on in the real world.
Okay. At this point as well, Seraphina is in the cavern, the mouth of the cavern. She's already got a little fire going at the front of it, and she shouts, tea for anyone who would like some tea. And she's also going to start pulling out some dried meats, and she's going to start to pass those out to anyone who would like a little snack and tea before potentially sleeping or maybe even exploring the cavern.
I would love a cup of tea. Jesus.
Do you like yours with a bit of lemon?
Do you have lemons available?
She's got a little slice of lemon, drops it in there.
Don't go
Always
anywhere without
have
my
lemon.
lemons.
Exactly.
Game recognizes game. I appreciate. Oh boy.
As you all kind of settle in for the night, I'll ask, does anyone want to explore the cave, or is this a rest situation that the group is looking for, as you all are pretty battered?
Sylvie can take watch. She's fine.
Okay.
Greymore will join. He's fine. He doesn't.
Okay. So 2 on watch, everyone else going to sleep, or does anyone have anything that they would like to do before going to sleep?
I mean, I think that Phoebe wouldn't poke far into the cave, but would maybe like walk a little bit in with her teacup just to like put eyes on things.
And roll initiative.
Yeah, so remember that
Damn it, I'm sorry, guys.
you were kind of at the top of one of these mountain ranges, and it spirals down. Like you would be going further and further into a cavern. You'd be descending into a cavern at a rapid pace is what it looks like to you, after about 30-45 seconds of just kind of like observing. And you also get the feeling very quickly that it is moist in this cave from the snow outside, and you kind of lose your grip on a bit of it. and you get the feeling you might slide down with a bad roll here.
We're not going any farther. I was just really hoping maybe something interesting would have been close.
Something
But
interesting
we're not.
is potentially further in, but
Maybe tomorrow morning. We don't have anything else going on right now.
Keep your secrets then.
it's also good to remind you all that we are about 24 to 48 hours away from peace talks in Rexendrum. If those are still going on, you don't know. But
You led us to believe it was definitely too late for that.
look, last you guys heard, peace talks were still.
We have to make it to these peace talks.
I mean,
Maybe they
we gotta
rescheduled
go.
the hurricane.
Like,
Seriously.
theoretically speaking, the people in Rexentrum wouldn't know why suddenly the sky is red and there's a bunch of red beacons. Like, they wouldn't know why. They didn't see what happened. So, like, theoretically speaking, it could happen.
You guys are really the only ones with the knowledge of what has happened here today. You know that Rhea intended to go to the peace talks. She spearheaded the peace talks, and she is nowhere to be seen. You guys have all the information, and peace talks are...
I did read one book in the library about war, and you always try to take a little bit more before the peace talks so that you have leverage when you're at the peace talk. This is not creative, guys. This is
Sun Tzu,
this is just
an ancient Exandrian.
tale as old as Exandria.
So, as you all... Again, I don't think anyone wants to do anything. As you all begin to nod off, Graymore and Sylvie are going to stay up. Raj, as you begin to doze off.
Raj.
As you begin to nod off, you find yourself with your wings out, and you are looking down at Exandria. Above you, you're seeing Saloon shattered. And it is you, and you look slightly above you, and you see all of these golden lines reaching out in all sorts of different directions, and you see the Raven Queen looming above you. She is reaching out and trying to catch people falling from Saloon, souls falling from Saloon. And she says to you, "Quick, help." What do you do?
I would dive. I would kind of like dive to like catch someone that was like dangerously close of like falling to their demise.
She misses one. Looks like... give me a perception check here.
Ooh, 3.
3. Okay.
4. Sorry.
So just on the perception check here, you notice that she has missed, and she's rapidly, like, new lines are being created, and she's trying to capture or grab these souls to what you presume is to move them or transfer them to a new home in the afterlife, as Saloon is no longer. And you notice that there are hundreds and hundreds and thousands of souls that she is just missing. There's just not enough of her. So the one thing that you do notice with a 4, if there is anything to notice, it's almost like a bunch of blank faces. It's so difficult. There's so many that you can't quite spot one that like gives you anything. But you dive for, out of the thousands, you just dive for one. And as you get closer, how do you try to save this soul from just falling into the abyss below?
Would fly down past the soul falling and like turning up to like catch it in my arms.
Wonderful. As you go up to catch this creature, you notice, as now you are holding this female, you see kind of like gray skin, black hair, almost braided back like a warrior. You see these kind of tusks coming from her mouth, and as you catch her, this line whips from the Raven Queen and catches onto her, and you hear, "Thank you," and she's pulled away. And you look around again, and there are more and more souls falling. What do you do?
I would spend the rest of my dream hours collecting souls.
You spend the better part of 8 hours, literally, doing this. Whenever you
What's he
do
look
wake up,
like when he's sleeping?
yeah. So when you do wake up, you are going to take a level of exhaustion, and you do not actually get a long rest from this. But what he looks like from you guys is he is constantly turning. You see him at some points like standing up, looking around, and like hitting the side of the wall, and then slumping back down. He's making the moves, as you will in person. Now, as Mads, you continue to walk down the path to the sanctuary. You look off to the side,
Yeah, I've had time to think about it now, so.
and you see your mother, a translucent version of her, walking alongside you. Looks to you, has this blackened braid, like the day you last saw her when she was buried as she defended you all, or her tribe, from a dragon. If you recall, she locked herself into a room so that way your clan could get out and escape, and she fought with it. But
I'm not gonna cry this early, man. Hang
on that day she had braids, painted like a warrior, had the tusks out proudly, and you still see her walking beside you. She looks to you, she smiles, almost reaches out, and just dissipates. Panning to, let's see, let's go with Greymore and Sylvie. Perception check, if you will.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Perfect.
I got a 14.
A 1 and a 14. It's almost like you guys are asking for this. Like, you set up the tent, nobody can see us, I swear, and then a 1 gets rolled, and then it's like, well, what do you want me to do? So with a 1 and a 14, actually, Sylvie, your focus really on the vast majority of the night, depending on how long you stay up, is you see Raj constantly moving, shuffling. There are even times where you like try to comfort him and like grab him and try to hold him, and even when you try to wake him up, he is still going. There's a determination to him that is unsettling, to say the least. Greymore with a 14. You notice for the better part of the night that Xerxes does not sleep. Actually sits right at the outside of the mouth of the cage. Doesn't look like he's doing anything fishy, but he's just sitting outside. And you can actually see as he sits in the snow that the snow melts around him. And every time more and more snow falls on him, it almost like it's hitting a hot pan, and it just sizzles away. And you can see the entire time he's looking at his hand, looks on both sides, and there's a contract pentagram on one side, and you take it as a contract, as similar to Sylvie had. And you can see him almost looks like he's reading through it, although you don't see words or anything like that attached to it. And it makes you wonder, what contract has he had to sign in his time, and when will that bill be due? So are you guys going to stay up the entire night, or would you like to try to shift out with someone?
I'll shift in.
I'd try to shift out if I could.
I'll shift in with her.
If someone wasn't able to get up, I would keep.
Say I would be able to do a 4-hour sleep.
Yeah, let me cover one of the watches.
I'll sleep, but I'll let Galileo take over.
Sylvie, as we switch, your hand looks different. Or wait, do you have a hand thing too? Or am I thinking of the cores?
So I just
We
put
both
the
have a
pentagram on
hand
my
thing
hand
The
face.
pen. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think it looks the same.
Okay, I didn't know if something changed since the last time I.
Since I accepted, I don't know if anything's changed. I don't know if it's gone or if it's the same, or I'm
Does
not sure.
Does it look the same as she's showing it up as Xerxes?
The pentagram itself looks the same. Yeah.
Does Xerxes have 2 pentagrams, knowing that Sylvie has a contract with him?
Yeah. So on one hand, he actually has it on the palm, on the palm, and then on the back side of it, there's a different contract. So he's got 2 pentagrams, one on each side of his hand.
And
Is
then
Sylvie's with Xerxes or?
And I'm gonna say which side is Sylvie's on?
Not quite sure. They
Sub-
both look the same.
Subsection B.
So like, is Sylvie's on her palm or is it on the back of her hand?
Sylvie, where would you like yours?
Palm,
Palm.
if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I'm cool with.
Okay. I guess if it's not the same, then I don't have anything to say. I just. Yeah, I just.
Graymore would point that out to Galileo, knowing that Galileo's been like his history person to record everything. He would make the directions like, hey, look, Xerxes has 2 different grams on his hand, kind of like Sylvie's. Maybe one's an accepting contract and one's a giving contract.
I will log the detail. Thank you. Yeah. This is all very strange for me. Gray man. Gray man.
Great, man.
Ah.
He would just hang out with Galileo for the 2nd watch, and then he would need to go down for the 3rd watch.
Yeah, if you're staying up with me, I would just like chat
Yeah.
with you about everything.
The only thing I would say to Galileo or Graymore before Zoe went to sleep was just to kind of like keep an eye on Raj and make sure that he doesn't like roll too close to the fire or something where he's gonna hurt himself. Just to like
Dart out the front of the cave.
Graymore's like,
right.
is this how snakes sleep?
I did have to reach pretty far to bring him back from his latest departure. So that may have some unintended consequences that are regrettable, but I will continue to protect his light as I have. End sentence.
I would keep an eye on Xerxes now and Raj.
As the night progresses,
I like just getting to lean on Galileo's awkwardness for my own just inability to communicate well and act. Like I'm just
Character choice.
totally. It's a character.
yes,
It's part of
this
the
is a
character.
I am role playing.
Dude, guys, I'm excited for whatever kind of awful New Zealand or Australian accent I get to do next. So it's gonna be bad.
So
No, it's gonna be great.
as the night progresses, I'll say your guys' watch comes to an end, and even the 3rd group at this point, we can move through it. Morning hits, although it is still kind of dark out just because of the cloud coverage, but nonetheless, you all get your long rest aside from Raj. You guys have, as Jace points out, I think peace talks begin 24 hours from now, about 7, 8 in the morning, in Rexentrum. What is the plan?
Well, we have to go and tell them what happened.
we have to
Preferably
go and
before
gather
Rhea
more-
gets there.
I think maybe less peace talks and more of a sharing of information. If Rexentrum still stands, I can gather a lot of information if given access to a library and sufficient amount of time, or just the right people with the right knowledge, and we can share our own firsthand experience about the obelisks. Jace could confirm what the Cobalt Soul and Sylvie know about the Betrayer Gods and the obelisks, and which ones have activated and which ones haven't. I find it hard to make good decisions with bad information, so the leaders of our allies might need that information.
I know from just yesterday, although it feels like forever ago,
Yesterday.
that there were 7 obelisks that were activated. But we know that the 2 that were not were of the Chained Oblivion, because Deegan threw his sword away, and Asmodeus, because Xerxes no longer has the mace. And we confirmed, based on the message that Raj sent to our mother, that she did not complete her task. So we know it's those 2, but we don't know who the 2 opposite prime deities, if we're going to go down that route. So finding out that information would be helpful, so we can figure out and come to a good decision, because if we don't have either vestige, we can't complete that plan. We also know, based on what Deegan said, that once the obelisk is activated, we can't do anything about it. So we have to prevent one of them at least. Otherwise, we know the Divine Gate is going to come down. I personally prefer lawful over chaotic, so I'm going to say let's go for the Chained Oblivions of Obelisk, because his army sounds scary AF. But that is merely just a matter of depending on if
the devil would say that.
No, that sounds entirely. I think that's perfectly reasonable. I mean, we only have to stop one, and the greater of 2 evils, no offense, Xerxes, seems to be the Chained Oblivion.
The best trick the devil ever played.
The other thing to consider is, what if we go to the peace talks and Rhea Usne is there? What if she's there? Then we just have to...
She's going to be there. That's the thing. She's going to be.
So then if she's going to be there, we can't just go up and give all the information and point fingers at her. It's going to get us killed.
Which is why we need to go first. I don't know how to beat her, but we have to get there before she does, theoretically speaking.
We were planning on going to get some more information and keep an eye on everyone to make sure that no one gets hurt. We can still go and make sure that no one gets hurt.
Okay.
Do we have any idea what the other group is doing?
Oh yeah, since it's been like a morning, can Mads reach out using sending or whatever, or anyone who else? What does Cal have? Does Cal have sending, or any C1 characters can reach out?
I made sure to study sending last night in the cave. If I can just retcon that really quick, I made sure to study the scroll and have it now.
No, it's too late.
I know, that's the other thing that I would like to do
You can
this morning, would be study the scroll for an hour.
Yeah.
But, not as important.
Jace also chimes in and says, I can send as well. Yeah, so Raj, Jace, you got options.
I don't think Mads has sending, or if his magic even works. That's a 3rd level spell, right?
Oh, fuck.
Yep.
I forgot about that in that span of time.
I know, right? We'll see.
Jace, perhaps. You would not mind.
What do you
What
want
does
me
Jace
to say?
Well, obviously.
What does Cal have it?
No.
Who else is with that group? Who the fuck did I even save?
Do we just want to communicate with Rugandar and Mads and Cal and Eldron and
Eldron?
If they...
This Sanctuary of Bahamut has a sending scroll in it somewhere.
I
Someone's
communicate
reading
with the
this
dragons, so
It's
there you
just,
go.
It's just crows exploding constantly.
Xerxes is like, watch out, there's something coming, and it's just a crow. There's just like explode.
No, that just happens
Boom.
sometimes. It's not actually a
That's
problem.
awesome.
I think we just reach out to one of them and see if they gathered any other information when they went back to the sanctuary, or if we could just get an idea of what they're doing. Otherwise, I don't know if you can just use the Cobalt Soul to see if we can figure out. Well, I don't know if the peace talks are still on, or if they were magically canceled.
I mean, do we want to walk and talk potentially? Because Raj can track those coins, so we can get back to the purple rooms that we came through. Is that still a thing? You think?
Maybe, but there's a blizzard. Can I cover up it?
Well, yes.
Aw,
Yes.
kitty.
She's big. She's very
Oh.
sharp and very batty, but she's a good cat.
She looks happy as hell.
She's a good cat. She says I'm just kind of spicy sometimes. Are you kind of spicy?
You see,
This is the
Jace reaches out and he says, "Which one's more important? Getting us out of here, or sending a spell, or sending to the Cobalt Soul?
Getting us out of
What's
here.
priority?"
Getting us out of here. As if we want to beat her there, we can at least get there. And even if the peace talks aren't happening, we'll find at least we're somewhere with civilization and communications and teleportation circles.
So he reaches, begins to touch his ear, and you see him kind of rattling something off in his mind. You see his eyes moving, darting. A few moments later, looks back to you all and says, "Okay, ride's on the way."
What are we riding?
It's, we'll say, not but 60 seconds later, bursting out of the clouds, you start to see a black dragon. You see a green dragon, and all of your guys' dragons from C1 have survived the night. They do have some wounds to them, but they look overall fine, healthy. And
Badass.
they land on the sides of the mountains and begin to like curl their heads around the opening of the cavern to see you all.
Above table question: has Rain deemed this important enough to leave
Nope.
his mourning? No, he's still there.
Yep.
Okay.
Rain is still at the sanctuary.
Hey, sorry, Rain.
He's a good son. A dutiful son.
And actually, just to pan to the C1 characters real quick, plus Cal, I mean, Rain is the first thing they see, because that kind of at the center point of the city would be kind of like a little bit of a mausoleum of, you know, where Jazz was buried, so to speak, and he looms there, kind of curled his body around the center of this mausoleum. And then panning back to you guys here, which one do you guys want? Pick a dragon.
I'll hop on
I'm-
Jerome.
Jerome.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Jerome. I like that guy. Oh,
Yeah.
3 jump on Jerome. Raj, which one would you jump on to?
oh my gosh, another orange cat.
He hates this.
Fiernan.
Okay, so 1 on Fiernan. So far 3 on
Jerome.
Jerome. You still have
I mean, don't
AJ.
get me
You have
wrong.
Jupiter. Jupiter.
Oh,
Wait,
I'll go on Jupiter.
Jupiter, AJ, Fiernan, Jerome. Am I missing? What's my 5th?
It's Rain.
That's
It's
Rain.
Okay, yeah. So we've got 4
So
here.
what kind of dragon? It's a deep dragon. That's what AJ is.
Yeah.
Black purple.
And then the Jupiter is a what dragon?
Lunar.
Lunar. Got it. Sick.
I guess my question to you would be then, would Fiernan know that Greymore was buddies with Honorian before? Because if that's the case, then Fiernan would automatically pick up Greymore, and Greymore wouldn't know why because he doesn't recall a Venorian quite yet.
Dragons have like a really great sense of smell.
I was gonna say it'd have to be the smell, right? Let's say for the fun of it that he picks up the faintest, oldest 100-year-old smell that has a whiff of
Makes
of
funny face.
Anorian. Yeah, it kind of like opens inside of you and just bites you and like throws you onto its back, kind of choosing you. So we've got a couple on Fiernan. I think the only one left is Runeberg. Which dragon would you like to jump on?
I guess I'd just stick with the group. That makes the most sense to me.
Oh, well, we can't leave AJ to fly by herself, not knowing
Okay.
about her name.
You see
AJ
you see Xerxes goes up to AJ, begins to pet on the back, and she whacks him in the fucking and just knocks him back. And he goes, gentler next time, and he goes onto the back of AJ. Jace and Seraphina will also jump onto Jupiter as you all begin to go from where you are right now, which is around Icehaven. You're not too far off of Rexentrum. It would be kind of like a couple-hour ride to Rexentrum.
But we should probably drop far enough outside the city.
Wait, we don't have Featherfall to just jump out of the sky and do a superhero landing?
I
It'd
might
be
have it.
fucking cool.
If it's at nighttime, I'll have it.
That's fair. All right, so you guys head to Rexentrum. It is about this time as well. Victor and Cygnus, you
Nice.
look around
Hello.
and you begin to see some of your mates, if you will, tossing rope over the side of the ship, and you are currently being pulled down into a landing port at Rexentrum. As you all are surveying the area, you see what appears to be a couple dozen dragons just scurrying around the outskirts of Rexentrum. You can see that factions of all sides are here. It's a tense and hostile situation, almost like a loaded gun is just ready to be shot in any direction. But again, it's not like the city's under attack, but there's just, forces from all sides trying to flex their muscle, if you will. And what you guys do see is a large purple dragon descending. Jumping off the back, you see Rhea as she begins to enter into the city proper. And that is where we'll end tonight's session as we get ready for peace talks.